right, and we're going to get started. So my name is Alexis Sims, and I'm the Family and Educator Resource Center with Henrico County Family and Community Engagement. Just a bit of housekeeping for today. I do ask if you all don't mind staying muted for the recorded portion of this session. We do want to be able to be respectful to feelings and things that people may want to share, and I want to make sure that we have the space to do that. So that's why this portion is going to be separated into two parts, of part that is recorded and part that is not. So we will be able to have some space and enjoy one another's company. If you all don't mind, if you want to share the link again, share it with the friends, share it with the student or anyone who you know may be interested in joining in this presentation tonight. We are happy to have more to join this call and be with us. So on our call today, we do have a few important groups and departments that brought us together. So with that, we have Office of Family and Community Engagement, the Office of Equity, Diversity, and Opportunity, as well as the Department of Disciplinary Review. So this session is a continuation of the Black Girl Empowerment series that was started during the beginning of our school year. So for the overview of the session today, we're going to have an opening. Now we have the presentation, and then we're going to have an activity by Ms. Kia Brooks, Nikia Brooks, who is Miss Exquisite Full Figure DMV 2021, and then we will go into our closing. So while we're here, in November, the Criminalization of Black Girls movie was presented at 2 showings for the feeder pattern schools of Elko Middle School. So they were at Varina and Highland Springs High School. And now that we've seen the movie, we've had book clubs and discussions have begun to happen. We're going to be diving a bit deeper into some of the common things that have been coming out. So in these previous discussions, we've been able to listen, receive, process, and respond to you all, what you all have been bravely sharing with us. And one of the common themes that continuously pops up focus around body image, self-worth, and self-esteem, which brings us to our focus today. Some of the notes that were shared and some of the comments that had came out during those sessions really focused around you look too grown. People said that I can't help the way that my body looks. People were telling students that they look too grown. Students were sharing the impact that the sexualization of their appearance has made them feel, as well as the challenges that they've personally faced with having to respond to hurtful comments that peers have made about their appearance. And all of these factors, including what is seen in the media, can have a significant impact on our young queens and how they see themselves, as well as the confidence that radiates from within. So let's dive a bit deeper into the understanding. The National Eating Disorder Alliance outlines 4 aspects of body image, which are perception, which is how we see ourselves, affect, which is how we feel about our appearance, cognitive, which are your thoughts and beliefs about your appearance, and then behavior, which is how you act or respond in reference to how you look. Tonight, our presentation will focus on the behavior aspect of this. So let's start by considering what behavior is. And I hope that you all can see the top of this diagram because it looks a little off in my view. But let's start with considering what behavior is. So sometimes it could look like fighting, bullying, insubordination, and love and affection. So the reference to the iceberg is one of my favorite tools to consider when we're working with youth, adults, families, communities, or anybody, because it really highlights our presenting factors, which would be the top of the iceberg, and then the things that are underneath the surface that we don't see unless we communicate them. And it can really impact the top of the things on the iceberg. So in this case, our ways to effectively communicate. As the model from Parents with Confident states, behavior is a way of communicating. Now, our decisions and protective factors are going to lead to the way that we can get to the point of effective communication or expression. So now you might be asking, how does the way that I see myself impact what happens? Well, let's think about this. If someone says, "You're ugly and I don't want to be friends with you," that can be taken in a lot of different ways. For some, you may have had a reaction of a protective factor that kicked in, and you may just brush it off. Okay, on to the next. For some, it may be something that you need to process, and it may have been hurtful, but then you have to reflect and remember how beautiful that you are. Um, and they really might have even offered a bit of sunshine to the person who might have made those nasty remarks. And then we also have some that might instantly go into a mode to fight, and that might be verbal, physical, internal, just depending on some of the different factors that are going to be strengthening and impacting those things that are kind of underneath your iceberg. So switching to a different visual or model from happinessis-a-decision.com, we're looking at the way that we process interactions. So to break that down is to focus on our circumstances, which is going to be, and I'm going to see if I can use my cursor here. We're going to start at our circumstances. So the circumstances are those things that are a neutral piece. So that's pretty much like something that someone may say to you. We have no control over what might be said to us. So that might be a circumstance. So then we're going to move into our thoughts. And in those thoughts, you're going to have the choice of how do we process this? Is this something that we're going to process in a positive manner, negative manner, or just what does this comment and how do I react to that? Which takes us into our feelings and emotions. As we're looking into process our feelings and emotions that may be connected to this, and to the point of, is this something that we are processing as a negative, a positive, or is it indifferent? And then we're going to get into our action. So with this, our action is going to be the behavior. So what do we do next? Some things that are commonly seen that are not always the best reactions, but it's something that is commonly seen. Is it something? Do we respond in verbal altercations? Do we respond in physical altercations? Do we go to someone who might be a support to help you process and navigate through what has happened? Did we refer to a coping skill or a coping strategy? So even if it was something that was hurtful, that our next action is not something that's going to have a result of a negative consequence for us. And then maybe we need to go back and we need to change. So even if, okay, I had this feeling, I did this action, but now I need to go back and navigate to how do we change the way that I process what was said to me. So as we go through and just kind of accepting what is happening and what you have received from the circumstances, then you can see your results of what happened. So if we're looking at, all right, well, did the fight change the situation or how we feel about the situation, how we're going to respond the next time that something may happen? Or is it a way that it was beneficial to you and the person of how you responded by shining light into them, even within the comment that it said? So, with this next question, I don't know if I'm dating myself a bit, but as we were talking about just kind of some of those action and comments that came out in the way that they reflect, there is a quote that says, "I'm rubber, you're glue. What you say to me bounces off of me and sticks to you." So that statement can have so much power in understanding how our comment to action can reflect on one another. So in a perfect world, all of our students will be rooted in love and supportive and effective, as well as having this effective and supportive support system. But we know that's not the case. So one thing that we could do is support our youth by helping their light shine from within and let positively reflect back to their peers. So how do we brighten those lights? We can do that through love, support, affirmations, role modeling, and encouragement. Now, with that being said, we're going to shift gears a bit to an activity portion of the night. So we are fortunate to have Miss Nakia Brooks who is joining us, as I mentioned earlier. She is the 2021 Miss Exquisite Full Figured DMV. So she's here to speak more about positive affirmations of self and self-worth. Kia holds a bachelor's in business and a minor in criminal justice from Liberty University, and she currently resides in Richmond, Virginia. She's used her platform to help serve our young kings and queens, and we are going to turn it over.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be here tonight. The name of my platform is I Speak Life. This platform is near and dear to me because I personally know what it's like to have limited beliefs and to feel that I don't deserve the best life has to offer. If it weren't for the amazing people that came into my life and believed in me when I didn't believe in myself and taught me how to encourage myself, I really don't know where I would be. So I choose to get forth this evening. I speak life in the form of positive affirmations. I do ask that if you have pen and paper, or if you to take notes, that you do so, as we may revisit some of this information again towards the end of the session.